Hi, I'm Matthew Wardner from Inverroy Crisis Management.
And I'm Toby Ingram from Inverroy Crisis Management.
The Business Continuity Institute Good Practice Guidelines look at 4 different areas of disruption that can affect a company, starting with the people issues. And some of the things that might be on your agenda at the moment is churn of staff, and how do you capture the data that people have when they hand in their notice and leave at short notice. What does that look like? Other issues are, at what point does the notice period become applicable? Is it 1 month? Is it 3 months? What about gardening leave? And so on. But the most important thing is that we address the idea of a single point of failure. Do we really know what it is that our people do on a day-to-day basis? We may know when we first recruit them against their job spec, but over time that job spec changes. And therefore, when that person leaves for whatever reason, goes to a family bereavement, wins the lottery, can we backfill them quickly and efficiently?
And I think the people environment, as with all things, is adapting. So research indicates that 60% of cyber incidents involve a disgruntled insider. And perhaps those of us who've been around a long time have a natural assumption that everybody is 100% loyal to the enterprise. That may not be a safe assumption anymore. And so in the modern day, distasteful though it may be, companies are often looking at vetting of staff, at monitoring of staff's IT activities, and in order to perhaps get an early warning signal that something might not be right.
The second topic on the Business Continuity Institute list is loss of access to premise. And as we know, that could be for any number of reasons. Traditionally, that then starts to suggest, certainly for an office, that you then have a recovery site, either an empty office or shared with somebody else, SunGuard, Regis, etc. Quite often now, the idea of working from home is the idea. So issues that then fall out: does everyone at home have the right IT to be able to do it? Is their laptop or their PC suitably security controlled? If everyone's now working from home, do they have the right VPN access? What happens to the broadband capability if everyone is logging in from home rather than logging in from somewhere hardwired? Very difficult to do and test it unless you're actually going to close your office and have a working day where everyone works from home. But that, I would suggest, is good practice. And certainly in the recent case of the Beast from the East, where it was forced upon people, we have many anecdotal stories of a reduced capability because of the amount of data that was going through now a much smaller pipe.
And of course there are second and third order effects of the loss of premises, because so many premises nowadays are run by a third party, a landlord, and you may have multiple residents within the building. If the problem that denies the premise is your problem, i.e. a fire in one of your workshops, a fire in one of your laboratories, and you all evacuate the building according to plan, it's absolutely fine, and whilst you're in the coffee shop, which is your emergency RV, having been evacuated, somebody comes up and says, I'm also a client in that building and you have denied me access, here is the bill. Are you going to be able to deal with that? Have you got the right contracts in place to avoid it? Have you got a fund in place that you can pay it? Have you thought about it?
If we now turn to category 3, loss of resource. Loss of resource most often is regarded as technology, and again, over the last 5-10 years, we've moved away from the assumption that we all need backup tapes and that the server is in the basement and so on, and cloud technology has built in a greater level of resilience. That's fine, but we still then hear many instances, cyber attack is still there. Please remember to train your staff on how to spot and respond to phishing attacks, because that's the level that people can get access to your systems. Please remember when it says your software is out of date, do you wish to restart your computer? Press yes rather than delay, because if you don't have the most up-to-date system, then you're leaving yourself vulnerable. And I think that brings in level 4, loss of supply chain. If you have lost the ability of your supplier to deliver your product, whether that be the Kentucky Fried Chicken example, or whether that be a future risk that we all are looking at now for Brexit, you have to have a backup. And if you are living in the world of just-in-time logistics and everything arriving within 1 hour, when it doesn't, what is the plan?